Hello everyone. Welcome to the solution of LeetCode problem 2316 named Count Unreachable Pairs of Nodes in an Undirected Graph. In this problem, we are given an integer n and there is an undirected graph with n nodes numbered from 0 to n minus 1. Now, you are given a two-dimensional integer array H where each of the entry in this array is A and B. Denotes that there is an undirected H between the A and B. Now, we have to return of pairs of different nodes that are unreachable from each other. So here in the first example, the graph contains three nodes, 0, 1, and 2, and all of the nodes are connected to each other. That means all of the node is reachable from each other. So the total number of unreachable node is 0. So we have to return 0. So here in the second example, in the first graph, we are given 0, 2, 4, and 5, which has 4 nodes. In the second, which is the only node 3. In the third component, which is the node 1 and 6, and 1 and 6 are connected to each other. So here, let's assume that from this node 3, we cannot reach any of the other node because none of the node is connected to the 3. And from this node 1, we cannot reach 0, 2, 4, 5, and 3 because they are not connected to 1. Similarly, from this node 6, we cannot reach 2, 4, 5, 0, and 3 because they are not connected to 3. So here, in total, there are 14 nodes, which is unreachable. That's why we have to return 14. I hope you understood the problem statement. Now let's move on to the algorithm. Now here, to understand the algorithm, we have taken the same example. Now we have to return the numbers of pairs of node which is unreachable. So here, if we can see this, that in the first component, there are 4 nodes, 0, 2, 4, and 5. In the second component, there is 1 node. In the third component, there is 2 nodes. So here, we can say that let's put it in an array 4, 2, 1. Now, if we multiply these two value, that means 4 into 2, we will get 8. And if we multiply these two value, we will get 4 into 1. And if we multiply 2 and 1, we will get 2. So in total, there are 14 pairs of node which is unreachable to each other. So why we use the multiply? Because let's see that suppose for this component 4 and this component 2, there are total 8 connections that are unreachable. So from the node 1, there are 4 connections that are unreachable. And from the node 6, there are also 4 connections which is unreachable. So in total, there are 8 connections. So the relationship basically is the multiplication operation. Now, how can we basically solve this problem? The algorithm is pretty simple. We have to run the DFS on the adjacency list representation here and count how many numbers of node is present in the current component. After that, we have find the number of node presented in the current component. We will simply multiply them and get the answer. Now, let's write down the example. Here, this graph, we are taking a visited array to mark which node is visited right now, and we are taking an adjacency list. Now, this adjacency list is the representation of this graph. Suppose for this H01, 0 and 2, 2 is presented in the adjacency list of 0, and 0 is presented in the adjacency list of 2. And this is similar for the rest of the edges. Now, we have to scan each of the element from left to right. And if our current element is not visited here, we have to run our DFS. So where initially we have seen that our node 0 is not visited, so we have to run a DFS here. From 0, we can go to, so we will go to 2. From 2, we will go to 0, but 0 is already visited, so make it visited and make the true visited. And from 2, we can go to 4. So make the node 4 visited. Now, from 4, we can go to 2. 2 is visited here. So from 4, we can go to the 5. So from 5, we have to make the node 5 visited. And from 5, we will go to 4 and 0. So here, 4 and 0, both of them are visited here. So the DFS will stop. So here, total number of node we have found is 4 in this component. Now we are at this node 1. So let's make a DFS from this one. So from 1, we will go to 6 and make the visited 1 and 6. So from 6, we will again get back to 1. So in total, there are 2 nodes. Now for this node 3, let's make the DFS call here. And we will find the 1 node here in this component. So in total, we have find in the first, we have find the total number of node in the first component is 4. Total number of node in the second component is 2. And the total number of node in the third component is 1. So if we multiply 4 with 0, we will get 4 plus, if we multiply 2 with 4, we will find 8. Sorry, here 4 multiplied by 0 is not equal to 4, it is 0. Now 2 multiplied by 4, which is 8, and 1 multiplied by 4 plus 2, which will be 6. So in total, there will be 14. So here we have multiplied this 0 initially, then this 4, basically the summation of this node, and this 6, basically summation of these two value. So in total, there are 14 connections that are unreachable from each other. And overall time complexity of this algorithm is big O of n. I hope you understood the algorithm. Now let's move on to the code. Now here, we are given a count pair function, which is integer n and a vector of edges. Now we are taking the adjacency list and the visited array and the vector VC. And initially our answer is 0. Now here, we are building the adjacency list, and for each of the n, the current I is not visited. Initially, the total number of node is 0, and we are calling the DFS function. After completion of the DFS function, we are inserting the total number of nodes into a vector VC. Now inside the DFS function, if currently our node is not visited, we have to make the node visited and increment the node counter. Now for each of the child in the adjacency list of the node, if the current child is not visited, we have to recursively call the DFS function on the child. And after that, we have to insert all of the count into the vector VC. Now, the total nodes, it is a variable initialized with 0. Now for each of the size in the VC, the answer will be abbreviated to answer plus equal to total nodes into size. And total nodes will incremented by the size. That means total node plus equal to size. Finally, we have to return the answer, which is the number of pairs of connection that are unreachable to each other. I hope you understood the code. Thank you everyone for watching the video. We will get back soon with another LeetCode solution.